Hi and welcome to a weekly reading vlog. I was not planning on vlogging this week, but I filmed a video earlier today and I did not turn my camera on and I had a full face of makeup on and I was like, well, what else can I do? So I thought, let's start a vlog. If you want to know why I don't just refilm the video, it is because I am super grumpy about it. And I don't want to. So it's 2:30 on Monday. I am working today. I am currently in a tier 4 area and have been since before Christmas. For those of you outside of the UK, because I'm in tier 4, it means I'm back in a full lockdown. So I can't visit with anybody indoors or outdoors. Or do any non-essential shopping or go to any like bars or restaurants. They are all closed. So there's not really going to be a lot that I'm doing this week. I won't really be celebrating New Year's Eve because I can't do anything or see anyone. So I guess my focus for this week is going to be reading, playing Sims, and I have quite a lot of content that I would like to put up this week. Now, I made a schedule and my earlier video not recording has kind of thrown me for a loop. So I don't know how much content will be made now, but it is what it is. So moving on to the books that I am going to be reading this week. This is obviously the last week of 2020. And at some point this week, I'm going to have to look at my Goodreads and see where I am with my Goodreads goal. I'm not 100% sure. I think I might have made it if I count books that I DNF'd. I would only count books that I've DNF'd at 100 pages plus. Like sometimes I DNF a book at like 2 pages. I think if I count those, then I will have exceeded my Goodreads goal. I would prefer not to do that, but I'm not sure. Once I decide, I'll let you know. So anyway, what I'm reading this week. I am currently listening to the audiobook of Night Film. I'm not sure how much I have left. I probably should have checked that. The last time I checked I had 12 hours, so I think I've probably got like 10 hours left now. This is obviously a whopper, so it's a really long audiobook. I have been listening to it a lot, but it's taking a long time to get through. Night Film is about a journalist who is investigating the death of a girl called Ashley Cordova, who is the daughter of a very famous director of horror films, and previously this investigator and the director have had a falling out about some accusations that the investigator made. It's a really interesting book. I am really enjoying it. And there's not really much more to say about it than that. I'm also reading Mexican Gothic. So I am just over 80 pages into this book and I'm not sure if I'm enjoying this, which is really annoying because I was so hyped for this book, but I'm finding it very boring. Like, it's not boring. I just don't feel captivated by it. And so what happens with this book is when I pick it up, I struggle so much to focus that I end up taking like an hour to read 30 pages and then I'm like, well, I want to do something else now. So yeah, slowly making progress through this one. I'm hoping at some point it's going to pick up and then I'll just fly through the rest of it, because this was a book that I was super hyped for, so I really want to read this. This book is about a girl called Nomi whose cousin writes her a letter asking her to come and save her. Her cousin is currently living in this creepy old house with her husband, his nephew, and his dad and his aunt, I think. This is a gothic horror and I am actually starting to think I don't like gothic books, which I thought I did, but I previously read We've Always Lived in the Castle and I didn't like that book either, and I'm wondering if there's just like a vibe to gothic literature that I don't like, but I don't know. Because I enjoyed it when I did my degree and I read a lot of gothic literature for that, but I don't know if that's because I did not enjoy a lot of the other books that I was reading. I don't know. And the last book is a book that I have nearly finished. I say nearly finished, like I'm just over halfway through. And this is The Afterlife of Holly Chase. Now I say nearly finished because I did read half of this book yesterday. So in theory, I could finish this today. I decided to put Mexican Gothic down because I have had this book for like 3 years, and I said if I don't read it this year, I am going to unhaul this book. And then Christmas passed and I was like, I need to read this by the end of the year because that is the end of the festive period and I want to read this book. So I picked it up and I love it. It's so good and it's such an easy, fast-paced, gripping read. The Afterlife of Holly Chase is about Holly, and Holly was a modern day Scrooge, and she was visited by the 3 ghosts of Christmas, but she did not change her ways, and so she's ended up working for Project Scrooge, where she acts as the ghost of Christmas past. The ghost of Christmas past. She acts as the ghost of Christmas past. I think I figured out what the twists are in this book and where we're going already, but I'm still really enjoying it. And my aim is to finish this tonight, though I don't know if that will happen because I'm also just not really in a reading mood today. I think because I've been back working today, I'm kind of exhausted. So I'm feeling just a bit tired. So I might not read tonight, but if I don't, I will spend a good chunk of tomorrow reading. So it's fine.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me were meant to be outdoors, forever free. You and me, meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
It's 2021. Surely this year has to be better. It's actually the 2nd of January today. I haven't updated in a couple of days because I drank a lot of alcohol and I had a sick day. I ended up staying up till like 3 o'clock playing Sims and drinking Prosecco because that is just the best way to spend New Year's Eve. And then yesterday I just felt like absolute crap, so I did not want to come on an update, but I do have a little reading update for you. So I have finished The Afterlife of Holly Chase, and I will give this book like 4 stars, I think. I'm surprised at how good that book actually was, at how enjoyable that book actually was. I can't believe I put it off for so long because it was just like a really good time. It's really cheesy. It is a really, really cheesy book, but it's just like a really fun, festive read. I just wish I'd picked it up a little bit earlier so that I was actually reading it more around Christmas than like the break between Christmas and New Year's, which like it was fine reading it then, but I think I would have preferred to be reading it before Christmas. So if I do decide to reread it next year, I'll try and make sure that happens. But overall, yeah, it was just a really fun little read. I've been listening to a lot of night film because I've been doing a lot of cleaning today, and I still have so much left to listen to because it is like the longest audiobook ever, but I'm still really enjoying that, and I'm hoping that I will actually finish that tomorrow, because tomorrow I am doing the last of my cleaning. So that's what I've been doing for most of today, but tomorrow I'm going to be cleaning out my kitchen cupboards, which is going to be quite a big job, and possibly doing some like planting, maybe some journaling as well. So that's going to be a busy day. So lots of audiobook will be listened to then. So the next book I will pick up is Mexican Gothic, and I'm really going to try and like make some headway on this book. I would like to be close to finishing it by the end of this week, but obviously tomorrow is Sunday, so that's my only real day of reading left this week. But I'd like to be like close to the end so that I can finish it off early next week. But for now, I need to go and edit some videos, and there's been a new season of RuPaul just dropped, so I'm probably not going to get anything done, let's be honest. I'm probably not going to get anything done.
I like to fight a little dirty, baby. If I opened up and caved in, would you hurt me, baby? I've been feeling like an alien, a refugee, an outsider. But sometime, you the first one made my heart beat, made my stomach drop with desire. It's no crime. I need a little bit of love from you. I need a little bit of trust from you. Or we can let the guns blow. Run from you. Or we can let the war start for us two. Please don't change, please don't stop. When you leave, it breaks my heart. I've been down, you've been hurt. Since that day I put you first. Or we can let the guns blow. I must admit I had no worries, doubts or reservations. Since an early age I became one with devastation. Took you hostage and I saved you with no hesitation. They wanna stop it, but what's true don't need no explanation. Falling for you was a bad idea. Guess I've been bad, guess I've been bad. Maybe we can get away from here. Never go back, we'll never go back. From you, I need a little bit of trust from you. Or we can let the guns blow. Run from you. Or we can let the war start for us two. Please don't change, please don't stop. When you leave, it breaks my heart. I've been down, you've been hurt. Since that day I put you first. Or we can let the guns.
So it's Tuesday night, and obviously I'm very late ending this vlog. I do have some reading updates for you though. I still haven't finished Night Film. I don't know if I am ever going to finish this. I listened to it literally all day Sunday. I did so much stuff on Sunday. I like completely gutted my kitchen, and then I repotted almost every single plant I own. It was a big job, and I think I was probably listening to the audiobook for like, it felt like a full day, so like 6 hours, 7 hours, but I still have like 3 or 4 hours left. Oh, 2.5 hours left. So I'm not sure when I am going to finish that, maybe over the weekend at some point, and then I'll be able to move on. I am enjoying it and I don't actually mind how long it is. It's just I'm ready to listen to a different audiobook now because I've been listening to this for almost a month. But yeah, nothing else to say about that other than I think it's really good. I've also finished Mexican Gothic and I didn't like it. I am so shocked. This was a 5-star prediction and I think this is a good book. I can definitely see how a lot of people would like this and would rate this very highly. I do think that Silvia Moreno Garcia is a talented author and I would be interested to read more from her. I think the idea of this book was really unique. I think this would make an amazing film, but I don't think it was a good book. I've been trying to like think about how I can say that a book is good and well written and also bad. I think I'm going to sound like such a dickhead here, but I think having done a degree in English literature fairly recently changes the way that you read certain books. If I'm approaching something like Sarah J. Maas, I put my analytical brain aside and I'm purely just going into it for enjoyment purposes. When I read something like this, that, how can I say this, is something that holds a little bit more weight in literary circles, shall we say. To be frank about it, this is something that is going to be a bit more respected than something like Sarah J. Maas. That's not my personal opinion, that's just fact. So when I read something like this, I can't help but be more critical of it because subconsciously I am holding it to a higher standard. And I just don't think this book was good enough. I think the pacing of this book was really bad. I would expect a horror to be gripping and this was really tough for me to get through. I really had to push myself to read this and it was only because I really wanted to like this book and I really wanted to read it and to rate it highly that I actually forced myself through this because there were so many times when I really just wanted to DNF this. During the time that I was reading this, I put it down and read an entire other book because this just wasn't gripping me. There are some sections that are gripping, but they are just kind of scattered. It's not like the momentum builds throughout the book, which would really help with creating this creepy, tense atmosphere. Instead, it would just kind of, it was quite flat and then you would just have a random little blip. The last 50 pages of this were tough to get through. And I usually find once I hit the last third of a book, I'm flying through it. And that wasn't the case with this. I still had to consciously be like, right, we're nearly there. We're nearly there. I had to set myself like targets, like, right, read 20 pages and then you can go on your phone. Read 20 pages and then you can go on the computer. Like, this was a chore. This was like reading for school. Again, coming on to like the lack of tension and the pacing. I don't mind a book that's slow. I don't like it. But if it's well written, I think it can be like a really lovely experience to read a really slow book. And I don't think this book had any right being as slow as it was. Literally nothing happens in this book for the first half of the book, possibly the first like 200 pages. Nothing really happens. I also thought the foreshadowing was terrible. I'm sorry, that's the only thing I can say. The foreshadowing was terrible. I guessed in the first 20-30 pages, actually I don't know how many pages, but the first bit of foreshadowing about what was going to happen, I picked it up and I guessed what was going to happen. And at every point that we were like introduced to something that was supposed to be a bit like intriguing and unexplained, it was just entirely obvious what was going to happen. And I did not like that. That really, I can read a book and get it and still enjoy the book, but not in this case, because knowing what was going to happen didn't add anything. So I've talked about Piranesi before, and in Piranesi, you as a reader are supposed to pick up on things before the character does, and that adds to the tension of the book. Whereas in this, it was not adding to the tension, it was taking away from it, because I felt like it was written to be mysterious and confusing and that you weren't supposed to know, and you did. Again, that being said, I do think the author is talented, because I think this was a really interesting story. I just don't think she did it justice, and it was almost like she needed to work on this book for a little bit longer. She needed to just kind of hone it in and tighten it up a bit more. The plot just needed to be tighter. I do own Gods of Jade and Shadow, which is another book by Silvia Moreno Garcia, so I will read that. I think that is a different type of story. I think that's more like fantasy adventure, and I'm actually really interested to see how she does with that genre. But yeah, I'm really disappointed. I just don't think I could really recommend this to people, because I just don't think it was that good. As far as ratings go, I don't know how I'm gonna rate this book. I am kind of sitting between 2 and 3 stars at the moment. I think based on my enjoyment, it's 2 stars, and based on just like what I think it is as a book overall, it's 3 stars. So I don't know, we're gonna just have to wait and see. I'm gonna have to sleep on this one. But at least that means that I have finally finished my December reads. I would say my December TBR, but that just didn't happen. I finished my December reads, so I'm moving on to my January TBR now, and I'm a lot more excited about that. Actually, I still have Night Film, don't I? It's never gonna end. So if you've made it this far, please leave me your favourite love heart emoji in the comments down below so that I know you are here. And please don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more from me. And hopefully you'll come back and see me in another video soon. Bye.